One car. One wheel. One mission.
Hi. So I've learned to drift. Well, I'm still learning to drift, but I've come a long way. And I thought I'd show you some clips on how it started and where I am at now. So follow along. So in this first clip, I'm drifting around in the AE86, which is a must for anybody who likes drifting. And the game is Forza Horizon 5. I actually started out in Forza Horizon 4, but that game, it didn't make any sense to me. I tried all kinds of different settings and all kinds of different cars and different setups and, different everything, but I never managed to drift in that game. Ever, actually. But here I am, struggling with the Logitech G29 and just spinning out all the time. I couldn't understand why I was spinning out. I was giving it the proper counter steer, I felt like, but still spun out all the time. I got so frustrated that I took out my controller, because I've played on the controller quite a bit before this and got pretty good at drifting with the controller. So I thought I was going insane. It must be the game, I thought. So I took out my controller just to see if I still could drift with it. And this is the clip here. And I do pretty okay in this drift zone, I think. It's not the biggest angles or the perfect lines or anything like that, but I maintained the drift and I linked the whole course quite easily with the controller. But now I switched back to the wheel and try the same drift zone just to see if I could do it. And the first corner is pretty okay. The line is terrible, but it's a drift and I maintain it. Second corner, spun out again. Story of my life until this point. Spun out all the time. So here's a little compilation of me spinning out. I did this a lot, actually. Found a 240, Volvo 240, which is a must for a Swede that's learning to drift. And in Sweden there's a tradition of drifting roundabouts, so I was practicing in the roundabout, but as you saw I just spun out. Tried some JDM cars, spun out, back to the Volvo again, and that was pretty decent. Bad line, but and I couldn't maintain it. I came back on grip too easily. I finally gained some control, I thought, so I've been watching people drift, and everybody that does it in Assetto Corsa, so I bought the game and tried it out. But man, it's a different game. It's way harder to drift in Assetto Corsa than in Horizon 5, in my opinion. These cars wouldn't obey me. They just, had their life on their own, went wherever they wanted to go. I was becoming quite insane. And somebody told me, hey, you should try to drift in figure eights, because that's a good entry-level practice. It doesn't work out for me because I get confused on where I should go next, I need to have a course with corners, so I have something to aim at. It's easier for my mind to wrap around that, at least. So by this point, I've come to understand that I spin out a lot. And I'll come to why that is. I have a little clip here on showing what I did wrong. Okay, so the big problem that I had, or the mistake that I did, was that I just went into the corner, I steered into the corner, tried to counter steer, and then spun out like that. And that was because that I just put full throttle, mashed it to the floor every time and never let off. And that causes you to spin out. So what you need to do is to approach the corner, initiate the drift, let off the gas and come back on it. like that. I was not perfect, but you understand the point, I think. Another thing that I learned that is great is that neck effects thing. It's both in Horizon and in Assetto Corsa. And what it does is that the camera starts tilting when the rear wheels lose grip. And with a cheap wheel like this, you can't feel that. So it's great for you to understand when it's happening, when you can see it, you know. So that was a big step up when I learned about the neck FX. Another thing that I learned that I didn't know was about clutch kicking, which is a classic thing in the drift community. Everybody knows about it, but I didn't. So I thought that I needed a handbrake or e-brake, I guess. So I built myself my own. I have a short clip on that. I just stole the design from AMS Studios. I don't know exactly how it's called, but so it's just a button fixed to this metal pole thingy. And I thought, okay, now I have a handbrake, everything is gonna be great. So as I talked about in that clip is that you have to do the 3 stages of drift. The first one is to initiate, and you can do that with the handbrake, e-brake, or you can do it with a clutch kick, which is just revving up a little bit and then letting go of the clutch real fast, makes the car spin out. Or you can do it with weight transfers and stuff, but I'm not so good at that, so I'm not going to talk about it either. But then you maintain the drift. Oh no, you initiate the drift obviously first. And when you have initiated, this car is out there with an angle, then you let go of the gas, the throttle rather, and then you come back on smoothly, and that kind of freezes the car in that angle, and then you can I guess you can control it with throttle and counter steer. And that's the 3 stages of drift: initiate, catch, and maintain. And Kame Trick is a YouTuber. I guess most of you know of him because he has like 700,000 views on his how to drift video, and he's the one that came up with the third or the 3 stages of drift thing, which is great. You should go check him out and not listen to this mofo. So here's a clip when I go around the Sunrise circuit. Now I've learned about the 3 stages of drift, so I can initiate, I can sort of catch it, and I can sort of maintain it. I've done some progress in that area. And I do pretty good here. Halfway decent line. Well, I went off a little bit there, but you know, now I'm drifting. Now it's fun. So I set a goal for myself that before the fall, so I started in the spring sometime, or maybe it was the winter. Anyway, I made a challenge to myself that I should drift 100 hours before the fall. Now that it is fun, it's not perfect, but it's fun, so I could easily do this for 100 hours, I thought. So I gave it 100 hours, and now I feel halfway comfortable with it. Still way more things to learn, you know. I want to learn how to control the angle more, to pour it on more or take it back a little bit, to control the lines, you know. I want to be able to hit the drift zones and the touch and goes and all of that, so I can, you know, do the real kind of competitive drifting. It would be super fun to compete sometime, but it's a bit off for now. So I thought I'd leave you with this last clip. Is one of my latest videos, just to see the progress of where I am at the moment. This track is called Mitt Sverigebana, which is a track which is close to where I live, which is fun. I've never been there in real life, but I've drifted in Assetto, so I do a pretty good job. I hit the zones, almost spun out here, but I caught it with the handbrake, saved it. It didn't look too good, but I saved it. It's super hard to find and hit the drift zones, I think. So there you have it, from 0 to 0.1. I'm not quite the drift hero yet, but stay tuned and I will make more videos on the subject. Peace.